confused. You were on David Letterman when he was doing that?
No, we were. I'm sorry, we were doing the David Letterman's top 10 list on our morning show in Omaha.
Oh, that's what it was. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. That's why I like TV is crazy.
So we are, just so everybody knows. So we are we're live right now for our Patreon members on YouTube. So welcome. This is Stormfront Freaks Raw. So we call this Raw because this is the raw recording of our audio podcast. Typically, our Blizzard level and above Patreon members have access to actually watch this live or have exclusive use to stream it for the first month before we make it available to the general public. But it's raw, so you get this is the recording. You get all the stuff that we're probably going to cut out, and maybe the words that get beeped out, and who knows. But it's you get this. To me, is always the fun stuff. So welcome to the show, and we're excited tonight because we have Andrew Lyons from the SPC is here tonight, and this is the first. So episode 160. Andrew, this is the first time I'm pretty sure that we've had an SPC forecaster on the show. Yeah, so this is
I think you're right.
Something new for us, which after 160 episodes doesn't happen much. So
it's about time.
Yeah, so kind of excited about this.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, about having you on. So, but if you're watching and you'd rather just listen to a nice edited audio podcast of this, you're certainly welcome to just go to stormfrontfreaks.com and you can find all the ways you can download the audio podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, iHeartRadio, anyway, all those fancy things. So, and we got Jen on.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
How's it going?
Hello.
It is going great.
Good. Yay.
Are you at your grandparents' house or?
I am. I literally just jumped out of the pool from being in there with Zara.
Okay. I was as soon as I said that, I was a little scared because I thought, well, maybe it's not. But the background decor kind of gave me the feeling of the grandfather clock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's my great grandfather built that. My dad is like a woodworker and has built a lot of the furniture, so he built that. We've got 3 different grandfather clocks in the house.
So that's a great grandfather clock? Is that what
Yes.
This is true. This is very true. Yes, true facts.
Jen, do you have a mic or not?
I do.
And if you don't, that's fine.
Do.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
So yeah, tap on it. Okay, so it is working. Yeah, just try and get a little closer to you if you can.
Yeah, hold on.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
One beer length away, remember.
One beer length.
I get this thing so close now. It's like, it's really close.
So MJ's back there tonight. He's running the show, but he's going to be behind the scenes this evening. But MJ, let us know if everyone's sounds good. I'm going to actually do a couple sound effects. So let me know if that's too loud, too soft. He said she got so close we can't see her anymore.
Hold on. I'm moving the desk really quick. Hold on.
It's like so, Andrew. We had because you work in Norman. Do you live in Norman or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right up here next to the Norman Airport.
So we had for somewhat early on of our podcast. We were on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV.
Okay.
Which and I'm trying to think of the individual that ran that, and he ended up moving to Dallas Fort Worth and setting up the same thing but in a bigger market.
Was it
but
Cole?
anyway, we were on his stream.
Yeah, I think it was.
He would stream our videos, but we actually had him as a guest one night, and he ended up having to go to his phone to link in on video and everything, and we couldn't hear him very well. So we you gotta get a little closer to your mic. And so he'd bring his phone up here, but now the camera was right on his forehead. And all we had was this big forehead. It was great video.
I bet. Yeah.
It was good TV. We just said, hey, we're mostly an audio podcast. We don't care, whatever.
By then we've had a few drinks. We didn't care.
That's right.
Didn't Lori name him Coalhead?
I did come prepared, so.
All right.
That a boy. All right, Jen, you doing any better? How you doing?
I think we're good. Can you hear me?
Okay, yep.
Yeah, you sound good.
Tap it again.
Mm-hmm. That's
Nope.
not it.
No.
Now you're not connected to it.
Oh,
But you sound better.
You do
You
sound
actually
better.
do sound better.
Well, thanks, guys. Let's see. What about now?
You know, as we drink,
There you go.
sound better and better, Jen. Just let you know.
That's better.
Just keep drinking, guys. We got this.
MJ,
Wow,
how's
it's funny.
that?
You actually sounded better, whatever you had. If you had your laptop mic set up, that sounded better.
Okay, you want me to go back to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it almost
weird.
sounds like you're kind of in a tunnel with the other one.
I don't know if you're still just too far away from that mic or what, but yeah, you sounded better. Whoa.
That'd be the wrong camera.
Wait, hold on. There we go.
MJ, I can't see you in the green room because I am not in as an
He's
administrator.
laughing. He's just
So I don't
laughing.
see.
I'm so glad MJ's here, though. I feel like he
He
hasn't
is
been
here.
here in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's good to have him. All right.
Miss you, MJ.
So, okay. So it looks like grab a drink back there, MJ. Okay, sound effects are good. All right, so here's what we'll do. I'm going to do the quick teaser opening. I'll do that quick, and then I'll come back, and we'll do the normal opening. We'll find out what everyone's drinking tonight, and then Maz, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce Andrew.
Got it.
And we'll go to bottom of the hour or somewhere around there. In the private chat, I'll just kind of mention, hey, last questions or anybody with any additional questions. And then we'll take a break, our first break, and then we'll come back from there. But we'll do that first. Any questions? Andrew, you good? You got any questions on anything?
Nope, I'm good. Let's go.
Cool, man. We're looking
He's
at
got
some
his drink.
fun.
He's ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll. Okay, so let me do the quick teaser. Coming in, 3, 2. Hey, Storm Freaks, it's Phil. We've always wanted to know what goes into a Storm Prediction Center forecast, and tonight we're going to find out. We've got fire weather forecaster Andrew Lyons. And we're never without our hashtag WeatherFools. Plus, we've got some wasted weather clips. It's all on episode 160 of the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Woo!
All right.
I like it. I like the energy.
All right, ready to
Yeah,
roll?
what are you
Let's-
drinking?
Let's do this, guys. Here we go. We're coming in. 3, 2. Hey, welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. I'll tell you what, we always want to thank our Patreon members, our teammates that help support the show. We've got new EF5 member Al Mason. Just joined the team, so welcome to Al. And I do want to do this because we haven't done it for a while. Just kind of give a quick shout out to all of our Patreon team as well. So I'm just going to kind of go through the different levels. So at our Supercell level, we got Candace Aravet. At the Blizzard level, those are the ones watching us live. I want to see if we got, while we talk about that, see if we got anyone coming in. Don't see anybody. If you are live with us, jump in on the chat. But this is Jamie Lambert, Jeannie Schaefer, Jenny Hagan, Joey Mays. And then we've got the EF5 level, which are getting in on additional merch, behind-the-scenes documents. That's what these guys are also getting. Josh Burnham, Steve Collier, Jackson, Curtis Fafard, Timothy Veltman, those EF5 gang. And then, of course, last but not least, our hurricane level. These are the ones joining us in the recording studio tonight. Dan Wallace, Angela Krager, Garrett Beverly. Just want to thank all of you for helping us support the show. You can also join our Patreon team, be with us and our guests live on every show, and enjoy some of the exclusive swag and gifts that we're giving away, which you guys are going to love this. At the end of the show, when we talk about what the next episode is going to be, we got more giveaways, and I'm going to share this with all you guys. We got some this to me is just some sweet stuff. So that's a cool teaser, but it's going to be worth it. You can find the Patreon link at stormfrontfreaks.com. And it is, whether if, yeah.
Wait, I might even stick around just to the end of the show.
You should.
I want to see what this free stuff is.
Tonight might be the night that Maz makes it through the whole show. We'll after 160. We'll have to see if that works out. But if you are new to the show, every time we record, it's always happy hour. And so it gives us a chance to introduce the co-hosts that are with us tonight, find out what they're drinking, but also it just sets the tone, right? We love being a fun weather show. We like to educate but not get too sciencey in the process. So we like to have a good time. So I know Mark M.J. Johnson, he's behind the scenes right now, producing the show live tonight. He's our producer, our Skywarn coordinator up in Minnesota, but I know he's drinking, but he's behind the scenes. But we do have Dina Knightley, our meteorologist, weather producer with the Weather Channel. Dina, I know you've got something special tonight.
And it's a new wine, and I got it just for the name. It's called Cloud Watcher.
Ooh,
I know. It's not, it's not the most expensive. It's got a little twist cap on it, but it's not horrible. It's pretty decent for the amount. But when I saw the name, I was like, I gotta have that. I've got to try it.
I do the exact same thing, Tina.
Yeah.
How much?
I mean, you guys always come with such good stuff,
How much
especially
is
all these
left?
like beers. There is not that much. I mean, it's like right there. I didn't do it all today, but
All right.
I mean, it's worth it.
That's cool. That's a cool thing. Mark Maz Massaro, our former on-camera meteorologist in Cincinnati, didn't mow the lawn tonight. No,
No, I
Okay.
was supposed to. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning.
So, you
So,
got a little something heavier.
Guinness.
Stout
Nice.
disappearing before my eyes.
Oh,
Magic.
It's good stuff.
Down the chute. All right, Jen Watson, our contributor at the Weather Channel. Jen, what do you got? What are you drinking?
So I was just at the pool. Look at my hair. It's all the things right now. Some lemon
It's
lime
all the
sparkling
things.
water. Yeah, it's all the things. Sparkling water, but it has vitamins and antioxidants. Just something a little light for the summertime.
Is that from Kroger? Do you have stock with those guys or what?
I am totally stocked with these guys.
You're
I
always-
Get those anywhere though. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
they're at
always
any
drinking
grocery
that
store.
stuff.
Yeah.
Always drinking that stuff. Well, all right. Well, let's get Maz. Let's get to our guest.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hey, we have Andrew Lyons tonight. He's a mesoscale assistant fire weather forecaster. That is a lot of words on a business card. At the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Lifelong severe weather and aviation nerd. He called himself that. He graduated from University of Oklahoma in 2016 with a BS in meteorology. And we know what BS stands for, don't we? He began his career at the National Weather Service office in Grand Junction, Colorado. From there, Andrew moved to the WFO in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and earned his master's degree in hydrometeorology before taking the position at the SPC in 2020. Now, outside of work, Andrew is an avid storm chaser and college football fan. Andrew, I'm guessing you're a Sooner fan. Is that right?
Boomer Sooner.
Okay, because I'm from Nebraska, and you're coming to town September 17th. I'm just saying, okay?
Wow.
We barely snuck by the first one, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
hopeful this one's a bit better on our end. But
So what are you drinking tonight? What do you got?
I have got some Knob Creek tonight. So I'm a big whiskey and bourbon guy. So my favorite is Eagle Rare, but I've sadly drank and all of that over the last couple of days. So
Eagle Rare,
got
yeah.
my backup of Knob Creek.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna get him drunk before the end of the night.
On the rock. You're not even mixing, are you? You're just straight up, right?
Nope, just straight. Yep. Usually take it neat or on the rocks in this case. I got a big,
Nice.
Should
big
be a
hunk of
fun
ice in there.
night.
Yeah.
Look at you. I'm
All right,
impressed.
Andrew. I mean, you're before we even get to the weather, aviation nerd.
Oh yes.
I mean, I flew too, so of course I got to ask. Were you flying? When you did weather?
I have 27 hours of my PPL done.
Nice.
I unfortunately got into a car accident right as I was starting stuff, so all my money went to the new car, and then my flight instructor moved away. So I've only got 27 hours. I've soloed. I've done all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the capital to come in to go finish it, and then I want to go through and get my instrument.
It's expensive.
Yeah. It really is. Instrument, CFI, and all that stuff. So that's my retirement plan.
Was the car accident while you were in the plane?
No, unfortunately not. That would be a great story, though.
I had to emergency land on a highway and then hit a car.
Yep, and insurance doesn't cover it. You know how it goes.
No,
so.
that's stupid insurance.
So tell us about the title, Mesoscale Assistant Fire Weather Forecaster. Tell me about that first.
Yeah, so Meso Assistant Fire Weather Forecasters, or MESOAs as we call them, are the entry-level forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center. So we are kind of brought in at the GS12 level, and then we handle all the mesoscale discussions and all the fire weather forecasts and the general thunder forecasts for the SPC. So we work with all the leads and all the mesos, or the mesoscale forecasters, and so we're the low guys on the totem pole, but they give us all the jobs they don't want to do.
Yeah, tell that to the GS11s and below, right?
But it seems like you've been a couple places already, like Cheyenne, you've been in Colorado. I mean, some of those are really beautiful places to live. Which one's your favorite?
Cheyenne was actually my favorite.
Was it?
Yeah, just the
Over
amount of...
Norman?
Well, I mean, in college, I don't really count that, but I do love Norman. But Cheyenne was my favorite WFO just because of how busy it is. I mean, it's weather all the time there. The old MIC Jeff Garman used to say, if you want to get your chances in, come to Cheyenne. So we had, high winds in the winter, snow, fire weather, and then tornadoes and flooding. It was everything except tropical, it seemed like.
So Andrew, walk us through like a typical day of your work and your job, and what's like the hardest part when there's like severe weather, fire weather, all the things. Like talk to us about that a little bit too.
Sure. Yeah. So we work rotating shifts. So depending on which shift you're on, I was on the day shift today. So I came in at around 8 or 9. And I did fire weather today. So come in, you start analyzing data, and then your first fire weather outlook is due around noon. So you're coordinating with all the local forecasters because they have all the information about the fuels in their area, and they want to know kind of what your broad thoughts are for that. So just kind of doing your general weather surveillance, like what's going on here, which trough is where, what's that going to do. And then you're writing the outlook, drawing the lines, saving, and hoping you send it out on time because that's important. And then immediately after that, I'm into the day 2. So same sort of thing, chatting with people internally, and a couple of conference calls, talking with the fuels people. So all the GACs out west, the geographical area coordination centers, getting fuel info, talking with them, writing more, drawing more lines. And then sending that one out. And then there's always the last 2-hour rush to get the day 3 to 8 out. So the extended forecasts for the rest of the week. You got to write that whole thing and draw all 8 days in that. So it's pretty busy. But a lot of the time it's, individual work where you're just staring at a computer trying to figure out what the weather's going to do, how it's going to impact your fuels. And then a lot of chatting with the local weather forecasters or other partners, in this case from the Forest Service.
So tell us a little bit more about like the fuels that you're talking about when it comes to like forecasting fire weather, because it's not like, typical weather. You look at different patterns, but also the vegetation there, right? How dry it's been, the drought conditions. Can you break it down like a little bit more for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on which part of the country you're in, you're looking to see which types of fuels are available to burn. To kind of sum it up in the simplest stuff, if it's wet, it doesn't like to burn, and if it's rock, it doesn't like to burn. So you're kind of trying to figure out which areas are receptive to fire spread, and a lot of times that's done by people on the ground. So you're making a lot of calls saying, hey, is this fire weather zone able to burn, or is it critical, or is it getting there, or did you get a bunch of rain dropped on it? I think the trickiest aspect of fire weather forecasting is definitely the fuels, because it's so varied over the West, from a valley in Grand Junction, you've got one type of short grass and scrub, and then just a couple thousand feet up on the sides of the valley, you've got ponderosa pine, and all these other different types of trees or shrubs that can or can't burn based on temperature and humidity and all that.
Wow.
Is it me, or does it seem like this year, this has been a busy year so far? I see warnings like all over the United States. What the heck?
Yeah, it has gotten off to a very early start with the drought out west. I mean, we were doing fire weather stuff as early as I think even January in parts of New Mexico and stuff like that. So it got off very quickly, and it has not let up since, unfortunately.
Is there a threshold? Is there something where we're looking at this specific quality or characteristic, and we know, oh, this is going to be a crazy day, month, year, whatever?
Yeah, it actually depends geographically. So each area of the country, kind of because of the difference in fuel types and all that, they actually have their own criteria for fire weather. So we have a big old map on our display that tells us, hey, you know, the humidity for this zone has to be 15%, or this zone it has to be 20%.
Oh,
the winds have to be 15 miles per hour or 20 miles per hour. So it varies geographically, temporally, and all sorts of stuff. So you're trying to make sense of all this in your head and draw it. So there's a whole lot of drawing and redrawing of the lines before you send them out.
Go through every state, would you? I'm kidding.
So, Andrew, when there is a wildfire or multiple fires, what do you do then? Do you kind of like, live weather casting when we're looking at thunderstorms and everything? Are you live forecasting like, the fire areas where it's going to go next, like looking at the wind speeds and everything else?
No. So that is a great question, though, because a lot of people think that we're drilling down to the really small details on this. I like to say that we have a 30,000-foot view of everything. Okay. So we're not concerned with the individual fires and kind of what they're doing. We always try and keep track of them because that can tell us more about the fire environment and how those are behaving. But we're not actually specifically allowed to reference fires specifically.
Really?
Yeah. Or talk specifically about how fires will behave. So we're entirely meteorological, which makes it very difficult to get that proper union between fuels and the meteorology because they're interconnected, but they're also independent. So
that's so weird. Like if you're looking at, say, the pipeline fire near Flagstaff,
mm-hmm.
It's burning, but you're not really referencing it. Because sometimes I always thought that was weird. Like there's areas of fire weather danger when there's a big fire outside of that area of fire weather danger.
Mm-hmm. And most of that is because the local weather forecast offices have a much better handle on their specific geography and their partner needs. And we don't want to interfere with that. We're kind of in an advisory role of we think critical meteorological conditions are going to occur over this area. And we don't want to influence their warning decisions necessarily incorrectly by excluding or including certain areas. So we let them handle that.
Have you ever messed up and actually said the name and I'm like, oh?
I don't think I've ever typed a specific fire name. You can kind of skirt around it by saying, several large ongoing fires in the text or that sort of thing, like hinting at it that stuff is going on. Because some people will be like,
there.
Yeah, exactly. Some people will be like, oh my gosh, did they not know this fire is going on? And they'll send messages to the office Twitter account like, hey, you guys know there's a big fire. And we know, we just don't always put it in the text. So
really you're doing the overall version where like the specific NWS sites, you really have to go to their forecast office on NOAA.gov to read anything else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Any specific information should, come from the WFOs because that's their local expertise in forecasting is their area. So we don't want to interfere with that. We just want to provide a, hey, heads up that there's critical meteorological conditions possible over this area.
Can you give us a secret? Like tomorrow, tell us what's going to happen?
Tomorrow is actually no areas. So there's potential for some dry
thunderstorms. Not even isolated dry, Andrew?
I know. I thought about putting it in, but I decided against it. So
is that why you're drinking bourbon tonight? Because you're like, I don't even care.
Yep. I knew I messed up. I got to drown my sorrows. So
I want to know when Andrew, is it decided ahead of time when you come in whether you're working fire or working severe?
Yeah, it is. We've got a set schedule that we rotate through. So fire weather, we actually work it on 2 shifts. So the day shift fire weather does the days 1 and 2 and the extended forecast. And then the overnight mesoA shift does the day 1 and 2 updates. So, but yeah, we know our schedule a couple months in advance.
Okay. And so it somewhat depends a little bit on when you're coming in and what you're doing. So just do me a quick favor, because we probably have some listeners that just aren't necessarily familiar with how the SPC is working, and then when the individual National Weather Service WFO offices are coming into play with severe storms. If you can kind of give us a general overview, I guess, for people of how that works and how it's transitioned.
Yeah, sure. So at the end of the day, the convective outlook, or the outlook that goes out is an SPC product. So there's a forecaster here at the Storm Prediction Center who is typing all that up, sending all that out. But they're also collaborating with people internally. So everyone on shift, usually there's 6 or 7 people on shift. So if it's a particularly active day, someone is saying, hey, can someone look at this area? I haven't had a chance to look at this area as closely, and tell me your thoughts. And then they kind of marry that all together. And at the same time, individual offices, so all around the country, all 122, if they're in the severe risk area, they can ask us questions or say, hey, we saw this. What do you think about that? And that sort of thing. So there's multiple levels of collaboration that go into the outlooks, but it comes from us because it's our product. So in the last couple of years, there's been a big push to kind of merge that collaboration and get more input from the field, because a lot of times in the past, SBC was kind of a black box. We didn't necessarily communicate with people at the local offices, and some people were not super thrilled about that. So there's been a big shift in that in just the last couple of years.
How do you communicate? Is it like chat? Is it you call them on the phone?
Both. There's a internal program called AWIPS Chat that's done on the AWIPS terminals. It's basically a big AOL chat room. So there's people from every NWS office in there, and headquarters and all that stuff. And then we've got them all on speed dial too. So if someone has a specific question, we can call them, or they have our number so they can call us.
So not smoke signals.
No, not smoke or carrier pigeons.
Yeah, they're beyond that. They're beyond that.
It's fire weather. Come on.
So that's true. Good point. So what is, I guess, also explained, and what I'm looking at here is where the SPC is issuing watches and where the WFOs are issuing the warnings. Kind of maybe explain that a little bit to maybe a layman.
Yeah. So when we've got severe weather coming up, typically SPC, one of the mesoways or the meso forecasters will draw a mesoscale discussion, kind of highlighting an area, saying that there's a potential severe weather watch coming. And that's usually about an hour to half an hour before a weather watch would come out. So that's just a kind of a heads up to the general public, emergency management, and the local FOs of, hey, this is what we're thinking for where severe weather may start to occur. After that, we have a conference call. The lead forecaster, I should actually go back. The lead forecaster is the only person at the Storm Prediction Center who can issue watches. So we have like a hierarchical structure. We have mesoways, mesos, and lead forecasters. So everyone kind of assists everyone up, but the lead forecaster is in charge and makes the final decision for everything.
So I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
With the holiday weekend coming up, is everybody in the office more concerned about like lightning strikes or like drunk campers?
I guess drunk campers, more so. We're trying to be sensitive to impacts, and like you said, for the holiday weekend. So trying to make sure where people are going to be out and about, and making sure that they're aware of what's going on severe weather wise. So
I love how Maz just like interrupts your answer with a drinking question, which is right on tap with our show.
I love Maz.
So I just go back, Andrew, to covering a little bit. So you're covering what the SPC issuing the watches, and then maybe just talk about that transition to what the WFOs then are doing.
Yeah. So after the MD goes out, the lead will contact the weather offices that are in the area that may potentially be in a watch, and he'll send them basically a prototype watch, and they'll get to see which counties and zones are in it of theirs. And then he'll do a big conference call and ask them, hey, does this look good to you? Do you like the watch type? A lot of times the lead will propose something, say a severe thunderstorm watch, and one office will have more concerns about tornadoes, and they'll discuss that, and so the watch type can change. And then they will just kind of hash it out, say, hey, we want this area, or we don't want that county and that sort of thing. And then they'll send the watch. And then once the product is out, the severe weather watch is out, and then the WFOs are issuing individual warnings for storms within that watch, hopefully, to alert people in the short term, kind of what's going on severe weather-wise. So it's basically a temporal and aerial coverage of, hey, this area could see severe weather. Hey, this area might see severe weather. Hey, there's severe weather going on in this area. At least that's how it's supposed to work.
Andrew, that's like the best breakdown ever.
I want to know who fights it out at the end.
Oh my gosh, exactly. So Andrew, I have to ask you, was there an event when you were a child that inspired you to be a meteorologist, or was it something later on in life? I would love to know what got you into meteorology.
Yeah, I don't have a big event that really got me in. Going back to my aviation nerd, my maternal grandfather was a pilot in the Army Air Corps. So I grew up with all of his memorabilia kind of around the house, and he was really interested in weather. So I think I got the flying bug and the weather bug from my grandfather.
I knew you were cool.
But yeah, I don't have a specific event, but I do remember a couple in and around Cincinnati. So by the way, Mark and Phil, I grew up on the west side of Cincinnati. So
nice.
I knew it. I'm an East Sider. Just saying.
I'm an Ohioan too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Ohio State though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just an upstate New Yorker, so
We're different conferences. We can get along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, all my extended relatives are Buckeyes, so
yeah,
I can stomach it for a little bit.
We had one of our former co-hosts, Kim Cunningham, from the Weather Channel. She was grew up West Sider Cincinnatian.
Oh.
And that she always talks about. I forget what tornado, what year it was that the tornado came through. It was in the 70s, sometime in the 70s, but she talks about that was a big.
Yeah, the 70s.
Was it the Xenia? Was it the Xenia one?
Xenia.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Xenia or Sailor Park.
Which is
Sailor Park
Dayton. That's more in the Dayton
90s,
area,
I
but
think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
So I think wasn't that April 3rd, 1974? Was that the?
I think
Sailor
so.
I don't
Park?
remember. I know it's the 70s.
Sure.
Terrible
I think you're
Tuesday.
You're right.
All well before my time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not to...
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, guys. I don't know about you. I know Maz needs one, but I think it's time to order a new drink. We'll be right back with more from Andrew. So stay tuned.
Andrew,
Well, Andrew's still here. He hasn't quit
Andrew's
on
still
us.
here.
I know.
Andrew, how's your drink?
It's really good. Yeah, it's the perfect amount of like water, so it's not just straight whiskey at this point, which is how I like it. So
We like to get our guests completely drunk, though.
By the end, they're like,
we like to get
I
drunk
love
too.
you
So
guys.
We like to get
That's
drunk.
right.
We love, and I always say this, I love drunk Phil.
drunk Phil.
Drunk
Every
Phil.
once in a while.
Phil's the best.
So
Angela.
Andrew, yeah. So Andrew. So we've got some of our VIPs,
guys.
our Patreon VIPs, but they've really become teammates here, obviously over the months and years. But so we've got Garrett, Angela, and Dan. But we always love giving them an opportunity to also ask questions because we miss a ton of good ones, and they always ask some really good ones. So we want to give them a chance here during break to ask away if you got any questions for Andrew while I go get another drink. So Garrett,
away.
Dan, Angela, it's up to you. Angela said her headset wasn't working. So Angela, if you
background noise.
oh, there we go. That's all right. We can hear you that way. That's good.
Angela, do you have a question?
I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. What about you, Garrett or Dan?
Yeah, I think I know, with the SPC website, it's not changed a lot over the years, which is kind of awesome. It keeps it easy to use. But
Yeah.
on the last chase we did here back at the middle or the end of May, I should say, we were looking at the HREF and SREF forecasting tools. And I don't know how many chasers really look into it and use it, but I mean, it's a nice little hidden gem there, I think. And it
That is
panned out like dead nuts for us, like especially on the 23rd for the Morton EF2 tornado. I mean, we played that, went off of that HREF with the calibrated run for the tornadic run on there, and it was just epic, dead nuts. We were right time, right place, and that was one of the big things we kind of utilized that day, and it really panned out. So, just from that side of things, I don't know, I hadn't really been aware of it until a buddy showed me while we were out there, and it really made a difference. So I think it's a nice little hidden gem.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you hit on something there that not a lot of storm chasers know about it. Not a lot of meteorologists know about it either. It's a lot of times people are just looking at one single cam like the HER, and that's their entire concept of what can happen in a day. And we do not use that approach at SPC. We really heavily lean on the HREF, not so much the calibrated guidance, but that's started to come up in the last couple of years. And there's actually some goodies that you guys don't see. There's a version 3 of the HREF page that's only internal to us that has about 7 or 8 different calibrated and machine learning based guidances on there. So we utilize some of that. As if you see in the outlooks where it says experimental machine learning guidance, it's a lot of times that we're talking about.
Oh, nice.
Can you give us the password?
Unfortunately, I think you have to be in the building on the network to get it. So if you can sneak in, I'll give it to you. But
that sounds like a challenge, doesn't it?
It's a challenge accepted.
It was crazy how pretty well accurate it was, because we looked at it and we basically camped out in, I think it was Littlefield, Texas, and Muleshoe, Texas, for just a few hours, and parked out, and it started firing, and by 7:03 EF2, we watched it from birth to death.
Wow.
Yeah,
it panned out. So.
When it's on, it's on, and we really lean heavily on it for the outlooks and stuff like that. So people will always kind of be like, "Oh, where do you guys get your data from?" And we look at a whole bunch of stuff, but a lot of times the HREF is our go-to in terms of all the individual or the mean model fields. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Dan, you got anything?
Maybe. Let's see. Can you hear me? I don't know. If
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were talking about geographic thresholds, maybe mid-D or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not like an overlay in AWIPS? You've got to do that in your head?
So it is an overlay. There's someone created it's called a VGF file. It's basically just a vector file. And it's all the geographic zones of basically, hey, this is, 15% relative humidity for this zone and 25% wind. So what I was talking about doing in the head is the math of how the fuels data relates to that. Yeah.
Okay, so you can drop overlays while you're drawing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we can layer so much data, and we could not do our jobs if we couldn't do that. It's trying to draw the thunder areas in and around like where storms are ongoing, so we don't draw where it's raining. That's particularly challenging. It doesn't sound challenging until you realize, oh man, I just drew a critical fire weather area where it's getting 3/4 of an inch of rain. So,
wow. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Do we get everybody for now?
I'm just playing with the HREF. I'm having fun.
It'll suck you in.
I love you, Maz, so much.
And that will be public at some point, so hopefully soon.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I'm on version 3. What are you talking about?
MJ just said he's got some severe weather to the north.
Nice.
That sounds like it's drooping a little south. And he may need to bail to activate the Skywarn network. And MJ, I will tell you, because I don't have admin control of anything, then it'll just be when you get back, you can turn us off, I guess.
Yeah, I'll try to take.
I'll
try to do both, but I may, just like I said, have to bail on.
Don't worry.
Doing stuff like that. So
don't worry about us. We'll do the Brady Bunch thing, and
all right.
we'll be good.
To see you, MJ.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Okay, hi.
Yeah, I see the warnings
Duty
both
of
of you.
You see the what?
It's been.
I see the warnings.
It's been training. It's been training on that area heavy for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's now starting to sag south. So.
Yeah, they got a flash flood warning there too.
Yeah, Mille Lacs County is one of my counties, but we haven't been asked to activate yet. So I think it's more. I don't think it's tornado. It's tornadic.
Wonder Twin powers.
Are you in the Chanhassen or the Duluth office?
Whale. What?
He's Chanhassen, right? Are you Chanhassen?
Chanhassen is our
Yep.
WFO. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Andrew, what's the fire index like there?
Clearing 1 million so far today.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We will come back out of break. I will start with some questions. We'll go maybe another 15 minutes or so with questions. And then when we hear this sound, that'll be time for our lightning round, which is our game show, Andrew. So we'll play a little game show. And then when we're done with the game show, I'll just kind of ask you how people can follow you on social media or whatever, if there's anything you want to plug. And then we will take a final break before we get to our third segment.
Okay. Sounds
Any
good.
questions?
Nope. I'm ready to go.
Man, it's fun, Andrew. You're awesome.
Hey,
So that's
thanks.
cool. We're having a good time. All right.
He's from Ohio. He likes
true.
aviation, and he's in weather.
That's true.
He's drinking
Yeah.
Eagle Rare. I know.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that combination. It's
Andrew,
good
you
fit.
got to meet us chasing.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys, next time you guys are out, let me know, and we'll try
right.
and meet up.
All right, so here we go. We are coming in. Hold on here. I think I just turned up my mic. I did. All right, test 1 2 1 2 1 2 test 1 2. Okay, coming in. 3 2. Hey, welcome back to the show. So we've got Andrew Lyons here, SPC forecaster, fire weather. I don't remember your title, Andrew, but here's the truth. I want to talk to Andrew Lyons, the meteorologist. Okay. Just because we've got, and I'm not a meteorologist, but Dina is, Maz is, Jen is, so we've got a bunch of meteorologists here too. And it's always just kind of fun to get everybody's opinion on things and how things are working and more timely what's going on. But, if you recall, I shouldn't say met you, but certainly I was introduced to you on social media because at the time, and this was months ago, because we always arrange our guests months in advance and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's water under the bridge at this point. But it is always interesting because, one of the, I don't want to say hot topics, but certainly one of the interesting things in talking about when it comes to watches, warnings, all that stuff, Jen, Maz, Dina, is tornado emergencies. Right? And what the heck, because they're rare, what the heck is that? And why is it issued? How is it issued? Who issues it? But more importantly, I think the question that people seem to always have anytime one is issued is why was it issued for this, but maybe not issued for that? And just as a meteorologist, Andrew, I just kind of am curious your thoughts on that particular warning item, right?
Yeah.
So what? And where did that come? Like, do you know where that even came from, and what the purpose of it is?
That started on May 3rd, 1999, with the Bridge Creek Moore F5 tornado. So Dave Andra, the former MIC from the Norman office, was actually the first forecaster to issue a tornado emergency. At the time, it was completely ad hoc. There was no official wording or anything like that. He decided in the moment, realizing that a catastrophically violent tornado is moving into a population center, to write the wording himself to alert the public.
Wow.
So that is the story of where it came from. And after that, it kind of stuck. People were like, oh, this got people's attention. People always hear the story about the boy who cried wolf. And unfortunately, it's sometimes the case with people in convective warnings. So Weather Service headquarters thought, oh, this would be a great way to reserve for those big, nasty tornadoes that occasionally happen, to alert people that, hey, this is the real deal. You need to pay attention. So that's where that came from. And since then, it's been formalized and kind of standardized a little bit more. And now it's an option for forecasters by default into the WarnGen program on AWIPS. So any forecaster in the country can now issue one.
What have you seen? Like you're so at least what you've been able to see. When have you seen that issued, and again, why? And maybe also when have you seen it when it's like, I don't know, and you don't have to be specific to where, but you can at least kind of tell me, because again, it's different to me, and not different, but it's just something that's rare, and I don't fully understand why sometimes it's issued and other times that you think it should be, it's not.
Yeah. And that is a very complicated question off the bat because of the way that we do convective warnings. But I actually came prepared. I compiled some statistics. Since the first tornado emergency was issued in 1999, there have been 203 other issuances of that product.
Wow.
That's more than I would have thought, actually.
Yeah, it's actually, it got very popular to issue. Since then, it has a probability of detection. So basically, any time that a tornado has occurred, or an EF2 plus tornado has occurred inside of a tornado emergency, is about 70% of the time.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly gotten more common as it's kind of infiltrated the lexicon of the forecasters because they know about this rare event. But its intended purpose is for large, violent tornadoes impacting population centers. That can be a town, of 1,000 people, or a city. There's no set criteria for that.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no specific criteria for population. It's basically just a tornado impacting, a perceived violent tornado or strong tornado impacting a bunch of people. So
now, are you involved with your mesoscale discussions? Are those at all tied into the possibility that an emergency would be issued then by the WFO?
Yeah, indirectly. So we don't want to directly influence any forecasters' decisions because that product is theirs. But if we see the potential for violent tornadoes, anytime we see that, we're going to put that in the mesoscale discussion because we want to give them a heads up. When you're working radar, it's really stressful and you're not always situationally aware of what's going on. So you may not have the best handle on the environment. So that's part of the job of the mesoscale discussion, is to alert forecasters and people at the WFOs to, hey, that storm, it's a supercell, it's moving into a really favorable environment for tornadoes. It may produce a strong tornado at some point. So we don't get specific because of the probability is it's fuzzy. But we try and give them a heads up of, hey, these could be real bad storms, and try and give them that sense of perspective.
Do you put like wink wink at the end of it so they know?
I wish we could put emojis in. I accidentally sent smiley faces. Like I put a colon in like front of a parenthetical thing. So I sent a little smiley face to someone, and someone did notice it and said, "Hey, thanks for the smiley face." So.
I mean, although if you've got an enhanced outlook or a high risk, it's almost like that's a good possibility.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
And you would hope that most people on the radar kind of understand that, but having done it myself, you really do get tunnel vision sometimes. You're staring at a storm and you can completely miss something that is really obvious to someone who's just 3 feet away from you looking at a zoomed out view. So radar interrogation is one of the toughest jobs in the Weather Service. It's also the most fun, but it is really, really tough.
Andrew, I have to ask you a question. So we've got Dan Wallace has a great question. Does the Birmingham WFO lead in tornado emergencies? And then I have another question on, was the April 27th, 2011 tornado outbreak, did they have like majority of tornado emergencies over the past like 23 years?
So I don't actually know if Birmingham leads the way. Let me see. I got a spreadsheet up over here. So let me see.
Andrew came prepared.
I know, yeah.
I do my research. I don't know who leads the way. Just doing a cursory glance, I see a whole lot of Alabama, Mississippi. So Southeast offices are definitely well represented. But I do know that April 27th, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 tornado emergencies were issued on April 27th.
Wow.
Yeah.
And one day.
Yep.
Yeah. Just over 200, right? For like, since they initiated. That's incredible. So, Andrew, now we have to ask you, since you are a storm chaser as well, when did that start? And what's like the strongest tornado you've actually seen?
So the first unofficial storm chase I ever took was the March 2nd, 2012 high risk in Cincinnati. I was a senior in high school, not to date myself or anyone else, but I see Mark over there. He's like, oh my God, these kids. But I was a senior in high school in Cincinnati, and I remember being ready for that day for several days in advance, going, oh, this is probably going to be a high risk. And it was really cool. My high school, they knew I was really interested in weather. So I would, the headmaster would pull me out of class occasionally for high impact weather and ask my opinion. So the boys were playing in the state basketball title later that day, actually in northern Kentucky, which, if you know anything about that outbreak, was a not fortunate place to be.
Yeah.
And so they pulled me aside and asked, like, hey, what's going to happen? You think anything's going to be bad? And I told them, like, yeah, you should maybe consider moving the game and all that. And the basketball coach was like, there's tornadoes all the time. We don't get those, all this. And then his neighborhood actually got hit by one of the graded EF4s.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that was my first unofficial storm chase. It consisted of me leaving my high school, driving 10 miles to the river and going, oh, hey, that's a supercell. And then my mom calling me and telling me I have to go home. So
get your ass home right
Yep.
now.
Are you the first storm chaser to have his mom call and tell you to get your home?
I love my mom. She's really helped kind of foster my love of weather. She would always get me books as a kid and all that, but she will call me occasionally while I'm storm chasing and be like, Andrew, there's a tornado near Norman. And I'll go, yeah, Mom, I know. I'm looking at it. Like,
Mom.
My mom's the same way, though. I feel like all moms are.
Yeah.
Now, do you go chasing with like a group of you, like a team? Out in Norman or anywhere, like on a yearly basis?
It varies year to year. Friends have come and gone as people kind of graduate and move out of Norman. I chase a lot with my girlfriend and our dog now. Storm chasing Sammy. She's a German Shepherd, and she loves car rides. So we'll go as three, and then a couple of friends in and around town will occasionally hop in the car. So it's kind of varied.
Has Sammy helped? I mean, with the whole pressure dropping and ears perk up.
He's barking.
She usually just sleeps. We were down in North Texas this year, and I didn't see any tornadoes, but we got pretty close to a supercell, and she just kind of poked her head up out the window and took a look, and then said, okay, I'm going back to bed. So.
All right, last question. Last question for you, Andrew. What I want to talk a little bit about the term "quote unquote" busting.
Yes.
Busted. So as a forecaster, you got to run into that 80 billion times. Well, not 80 billion, right? But you just hear that. You hear it. What thoughts on that? What's the worst scenario you've come across where you just you're just frustrated and you've never forgotten that particular day when all you heard was the forecast busted. The forecast busted.
How many F-bombs did you drop?
I can't say that on camera.
Actually, you can. This show it's okay, but
I believe it was one of the first high risks I did here at SPC, the March 17th, so the St. Patrick's Day of 2020 or 2021. I can't remember which day or which year, but people called that high risk a bust, and the whole western half didn't have many tornadoes, so fair. But we had gone a high risk for like Alabama, Mississippi, and I think there were something like 40 weak tornadoes, but it didn't quite get the imagination of like, oh, a big tornado outbreak. So there were a lot of people who were like, oh, that's a big bust, like, gosh. And my name was sitting on it. And so that was the first one that I saw. And
you got to clear up one thing, Andrew, because we fight about this at work all the time. What do you consider an outbreak? Because we fight over the number all the time because there's not technically a clear number. And I'll say, oh my God, they did great. What are you guys talking about? They're like, that wasn't enough. I'm like, shut up.
It varies. There are lead forecasters here who are really, really, really hard on themselves about getting stuff correct. Just my personal stance, I don't do it by the numbers, but I like to see a significant fraction of the tornadoes be EF2 plus. If we're doing a high risk for tornadoes, and usually at least 20 tornadoes minimum. So if I can get like
20
tornadoes and then a significant fraction of those be significant, that to me is a outbreak, like at least on a regional scale.
I'm using that number. Next time we fight, I'm gonna bring that number up.
Andrew said that's the new definition.
Oh, don't quote me that.
We won't.
So so that's our sound, Andrew. It's time for our lightning round. This is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions that we always play with our guests. And tonight, we kind of let it off at the beginning. I know you've got a big interest in college football.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to play a game, and I'm just going to make up the name National Champion Mascots or Not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's a horrible name, but it's what we're going to use for the show. So here's how we're playing this game. I am going to give you a team name, team kind of mascot. And you just have to tell me, have they been a national Division I football champion or not in history? Now, history, on most of these, we're going back to 1920s, maybe
so
might
the
go
AP
back.
era or whatever.
Yeah, so there were some years that there were multiple ways you could become a national champion.
Yes, yeah.
So we got to kind of take that into account a little bit. But I'll give you a team mascot name, and you just got to say, yep, national champion, or no, never been a national champion. Does that make sense?
Yep. Well,
I'll try how we always play this is the freaks can kind of help you out. I don't know how well they know their college football, but they can kind of help you out a little bit if they so choose in doing this. So, all right. So here we go.
Andrew, don't listen to me.
I need your help, Cornhuskers.
All right. So okay. Here's the first one. We're gonna go Buffaloes. Buffaloes, national champion or not?
I'm going to say not. Oh.
That'd be incorrect. Colorado Buffaloes have been national champions. Have been national champions. All right. So
it's okay. I didn't know that.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't
this is all, we talked about what BS means. And even though we say flashy and brilliant questions, this is always a BS game no matter what. So, all right, midshipmen, national champions or not?
Yes, the Navy has won a national title. Really?
They have not.
Wow. I must be thinking of Army then. Oh, man.
Possibly. So let's go with the Black Knights, national champions or not?
Yes, Army has won national titles.
There we go. Good. Very good. All right, Terps, national champions or not?
Maryland.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
See, I'm thinking back to like the 40s here when some of those.
I will say let's go back a little bit, but
he's making it tough, so I'd say yes.
I'm going to risk it and say yes. Maryland has won a national title. Yes.
You are correct.
Oh, well done.
You are correct. All right, Cowboys.
Oklahoma State. Well, let's see. They claim a national title. I believe it was 1945. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but I know there may be an asterisk next to that one. And I saw Dan had an Oklahoma. Oh, okay. And I saw Dan had a Poke shirt on. So sorry, Dan. I should have stuck with my gut as a Sooner.
Now, I'll say this honestly, Andrew. You probably know more than my resource for this game is, so it's highly possible that there is an asterisk to that, but not with my resource. All right,
just give them that one.
The Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets.
Okay, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I believe so. Someone said yes. I'm pretty sure they have.
I think so.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, national champion. I should have put the year or years by this, but I did not. Okay, we're going to go with the Horned Frogs. The Horned Frogs.
TCU has not, to my knowledge.
Yeah. What?
Wow.
They have.
When?
They have. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
What day?
For
from now back in the day.
All right, look it up.
Andrew,
I'm drinking more as we go on. So.
Europe.
All right, let's go with the Ducks. Let's go with the Ducks. The
Oregon.
Ducks.
Yes, Oregon has won a national title.
What?
No,
Oregon has
man.
not won a
Because they
national
changed
title.
uniforms too much.
Because we beat them. That's why the Buckeyes beat them.
Buckeyes, and
They
I
do.
guess they played Auburn in 2010, I think, and they lost. So, oh man,
They
that was
always
Cam
change.
Newton. Yeah.
Always
Oh,
change their
man.
uniforms.
I
All
am
right, how about the
embarrassing myself.
Gophers? The Gophers.
Ooh, Minnesota.
Where's MJ? I saw he had a golden Gopher shirt on before.
He did.
so-
You're right.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's in Big Ten, right?
yeah.
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 Yes, I do.
I'm gonna risk
don't
it. I'm
know.
gonna say they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
They won like 2 or 3 in a row back in the 40s or
Really?
something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
That
job.
is before my time. Just
All right, Wildcats. The Wildcats.
Okay, Northwestern.
I don't know.
or is it K-State?
Oh yeah, it could be Kansas State too. I didn't think about that.
Or okay, so Kentucky. I'm going to say Kentucky
Oh,
Wildcats
okay,
on this one.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no.
Those are good questions. Those are good points. Kentucky Wildcats.
I don't know.
They are saying
says yep,
yes. So I'm gonna go yes.
No.
Kentucky Wildcats have not won a football national championship. How about the Badgers? The Badgers?
Oh, Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Yeah, you
Very
guys
good. I'm
have-
impressed, Andrew. Yeah, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
National championship?
Yes, the Badgers have
yeah.
won.
I thought they did.
No.
They have not. Now,
Really?
here's the truth. Like, this is really sad, and I suck because I'm not really giving you any softballs on this, Andrew, at all. I'm not pulling out Alabama, Oklahoma, none of the obvious Ohio States, Michigan, and I'm not pulling. I'm pulling the ones that are Power 5 conferences, but maybe or maybe not have won. Orange.
Syracuse. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know who that one was.
See, I'm thinking back again because they were so good in the 40s and 50s.
Go back to that, Andrew. I believe I'm upstate New Yorker. I think it's a yes.
I
But I
think
could
it's
be
a
wrong.
yes too. I'm gonna go with it. Hey, there we go.
Oh, nice.
That is correct. How about a couple more here? The Boilermakers.
Okay, Purdue.
Yeah, they probably did.
I don't know.
You would think so. He's got hard balls though, so he's
Yeah,
Really?
he's not giving me slow pitch here.
I'm not.
Underhand.
I'm gonna go no.
I'm
Purdue
gonna
has
go
not
no.
won a national title.
Oh, wow.
They have not. All right, the Hurricanes.
Okay, Miami. Yes, Miami has won a national
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a softball.
Yeah.
Probably
I had to
against
do
us.
Hurricanes, right, because of weather. Okay, so I'll do 2 more. The Panthers.
Ooh, Carolina,
Oh.
right?
Is that
if this
Florida
is NFL,
International
yes.
University?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
All of a sudden, it was like, wait,
never
what?
mind.
Pittsburgh.
I'm getting
Pittsburgh
said it with
confused.
Panthers.
confidence,
Pitt.
though.
Okay.
Pitt
Again,
Panthers.
another team that was
Pitt
very good back in the
Panthers.
day. I'm gonna go yes. Pittsburgh has won. Yeah.
Wow.
They do.
Andrew.
All right, last one for all the money. The Cardinal.
Oh, Stanford. Okay.
Huh.
Well, they're really good at academics.
The trees. Like I was gonna
yes.
call them the trees, but I don't. What's their team name? And I looked it up. It's Cardinal. Okay.
Chat, any help here? I honestly I don't know my
I'd
Pac
say
team.
no.
Stanford
Well, have to
national
be,
champion.
Dan
Decades,
Garrett.
and decades ago.
I don't know. This is
Dan,
tough.
you answer.
I want to say no, but I don't know.
When
I'm
there was,
gonna go
four
with
in the
no.
conference.
You're gonna go with no, or did you say yes?
I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
That was the.
I knew it. Yeah.
Tried to help you out.
I know you
a little
did.
bit.
Sorry, Andrew.
Oh, it's okay. I walked into this, so
That was
Tried to
hard.
help you out.
I'm impressed.
No, like I said, I definitely didn't throw any softballs there.
Good job.
Because and plus, like I said, anything, like I certainly don't remember really anything prior to 1980s.
yeah.
Seriously. unless I like looked at it all the freaking time and that I got a degree in it or something, right? So I kind of made that hard for you. You actually did pretty good, in all honesty.
That was
You did
hard.
great, Andrew. You did great.
Oh, thank you.
So, Andrew, let our listeners know how can they follow you on social media and talk tornado emergencies and busting and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, I guess the best way is on weather Twitter. So at TwisterKidMedia is my handle. So I'm on Twitter, and feel free to follow. And if you have any questions about weather or anything like that, my DMs are always open too. So
you're like the Doogie Howser of forecast.
Most people have no clue who Doogie Howser is.
Brilliant.
Okay, so hey, it is convective season. The other thing is it's now also tropical season, right? Like this is kind of fun. We're still at the tail end of convective, at the beginning of tropical. But at helicity.co/SFF, they've got a huge selection of really cool, creative weather and storm chasing themed t-shirts, gear, merchandise, including some from the Stormfront Freaks, like our hashtag Weather Fools shirts and stickers that you can get there. All you got to do is go to the exclusive site, helicity.co/SFF, because when you go to that exclusive site, you're going to earn 5% off your entire order. And of course, while you're there, click on the brands tab. You'll find all your Stormfront Freak favorites, again, at helicity.co/SFF. So, hey, it's time for our final break. We got more to come, including hashtag WeatherFools and, of course, some beautiful wasted weather clips that you're going to love.
Andrew, I looked and I'm already following you on Twitter, which is so exciting.
I tried to follow all of you before the show. I think I grabbed a bunch of you the day before.
I did see that pop up.
Andrew, you're
all right. Hey, before we see if our other guys have any questions for you, can you do a quick sound bite for us?
Sure.
And just say, hey, it's SPC forecast meteorologist Andrew Lyons, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Sure. Hi, this is Storm Prediction Center meteorologist Andrew Lyons, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Wow. Good.
Nice. First shot. Nice job.
All right. Hey, gang, you got any other questions? Dan, Garrett, Angela, you got anything else for Andrew? No?
Which high school? Which high school, Andrew?
Yeah, which high school did?
Summit Country Day.
In
Hyde Park.
Okay. Great. That's a great school.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So, Andrew, you are certainly welcome to stick around for these last couple segments that we do to finish the show. And now you're a freak, so you get to comment and joke and do all that. Or if you got to go, I fully understand as well, and I want to give you that opportunity if you need to get out of here.
No, I'd love to stay and hang out with you guys. I'm having a good time.
He's already 4 bourbons in, and he has no weather tomorrow.
You're doing
Look
good.
at that stupid weather bowl.
It was mostly ice, I swear.
Mostly ice.
Hey,
so
you got to ask him this. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Andrew, have you tried the Cincinnati Distillery?
I have not. I'm a bad Cincinnati, and I haven't been home in about 7 years.
When you come back, I stumbled on it. There's it was a whiskey I picked up. It was a honey whiskey, and it's like, you could. One of my clients is a deputy, and he's like, I could drink this all day, you know. So I'm just saying, I'm like, it's good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that.
Where's it at? Where do they? Where's the distillery
at?
Anywhere.
Yeah, it's the Cincinnati Distillery. It's just
Yeah, but where's it at? Like
out of Cincinnati. It's actually the old Sycamore Township Distillery or something.
Wow. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's actually close to me.
Smart.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Jen, you are coming into applause and a little who to introduce hashtag WeatherFools. Okay. So let's do that first. I have got 3 WeatherFools, and I'm sharing my screen. Anybody?
I've got 2.
MJ says I'm crackling again.
Yeah, it just started.
Yeah, I don't know why. Phil, I sent you my 2. If you can share them. For some reason, I just...
Okay, she is too.
Yeah, I have 2.
No, Jen, you are crackling also. Too. Or somebody is. Yeah, when you were talking, you were crackling.
Really?
Rose.
Am I crackling, Ms.?
Crackling Rose.
No, now you sound okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
And I got to ask you something, Phil. Like, I don't think I've ever done wasted weather clips.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try and I got to pull up Jen's stuff here first.
This feels awesome. Thank you, Phil.
But if I'm showing, I'm clicking though. So if I'm showing that, I'm just gonna shut up, I guess, and show it.
I wonder why it does that. This thing.
I think I'm just filling up my hard drive. I don't know that I got much hard drive space. That might be running things funny.
Remember, it was your mouse. Like when you moved your mouse, it was doing.
Yeah, it was then. Like, okay, so I'm not moving my mouse at all. Am I still clicking right now?
Yes.
Still, yeah. if when I'm talking, okay. So I'm just not going to talk a whole lot, and I will just show a couple things, and you guys can comment on them. I'm going to pull up Jen's.
So Phil, do you want me to do mine first, and then we'll do yours?
It doesn't matter. That's fine.
Okay, perfect.
And I've got 2.
And we can start with the landslide if you want to do that one, and then we'll start with the other flood, the Pakistan, and then the Northeast India one.
Okay. Hold on.
Wasn't that Jefferson Starship landslide?
That was Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, it was Fleetwood Mac. Oh my gosh. Give me the buzzer.
Yeah, so you have another beer. Another beer.
Do I have another one? No, I'm sweating. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Must have been a bad batch. I don't know.
And Phil, we ended on, you can see all these on episode 160, stormfrontfreaks.com.
Go to stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 160 show notes. Yep.
Stormfrontfreaks.com.
Okay. So it's me and Jen and Dina. You said you had one?
Yeah, I've got 2.
2?
I got 2.
All right. Then after Jen, then I will introduce, then Dina, it's you, to a little Toby Keith.
Nice.
And so wasted weather clips. So this is where we find our weather friends broadcasting, but we're probably a little under had probably had a little too much to drink. Right. And so the secret sauce is I slow down their audio track, and then I up the pitch a little bit so they still sound like themselves, but it's really slow and they sound intoxicated and drunk. And so just so you guys know, it's Daniel Shaw from Australia, the storm chaser from Australia, and Hank Shima.
Nice.
Together. Okay. So they were talking about, they were doing some kind of broadcast, and Daniel Shaw was answering a question about his El Reno tornado video.
Yeah.
And Picos Hank says a few things too, but they're intoxicated. So.
Okay.
So I will play that, but they're not going to. You don't have to close with. You'll find it on stormfrontfreaks.com or anything like that.
Okay, I don't have to do that. Okay.
Nope. And then I'll close it out.
And all right. So you have 2. Okay.
It's really one. It's just one clip.
Oh.
But it's of the 2 of them together.
Okay.
And for Weather Fools, Phil, it'll start me, you, and then Dina will do you after that. So we can just knock all of Phil's.
Okay.
Perfect. Yay. Go team.
God, this is too hard. Jen, I can't. It's hard enough to do my own. Now, Jen, you're making me do yours too. Woo!
I know. I got to figure out what's going on. Why I can't share.
You can't share screen. What happens when you hit the share?
Well, my computer's having issues anyway, and it starts to freeze. So I gotta look into that.
Come on, y'all make like $500,000 a year. Get a computer.
I wish. Matt, show me the
downplay
money. Show me the money.
All right.
Wow, what am I doing in the government then?
I know. And working rotating shifts.
Sharing.
All right.
is
So you guys ready?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dina, you are coming in. No, Jen, you are coming in. Jen, you're coming in 3, 2.
Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. And guess what? It is Weather Fools time. This is like the most hilarious part of the podcast ever because we capture people doing crazy wild things during severe weather and basically acting like idiots and doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's why we call it #WeatherFools. And we have several for you on this episode. And we're going to get right to it. We're going to talk about some flooding. And as you all know, when there's flooding, you turn around, don't drown. But also, if you're on a mountainside and things aren't looking too good, you back away. But look at this. We're watching right now a huge, basically landslide chunk of earth completely collapsing. And you've got these people to set it up for you. I mean, this is a mountain highway and they're outside of their cars and they're just a little too close, like 10 feet away from this. And the thing is, what they don't realize is the whole chunk that's just above them could collapse on them as well. And they're not even backing up. That's the thing. Like this guy is like slowly. Okay, so
Back
this one.
it up, move.
Yeah, but I feel like I would be running away.
Oh, there it goes.
There's
there
a
it goes.
couple runs.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
Look at those
some of
stupid people.
they're just standing there. Like, and
It's
this is like,
people who stand on the shore and watch, like, hey, a tsunamis coming.
yes, exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
It's the driver. The driver without insurance is the one who's backing up.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like, this is one of the craziest things. If that were me, I'd leave the car, truck, whatever behind, and I'd just be, I don't know, running away. So this is in Northeast India. We have another flooding video, and this is a different one. So look at this. So they've got kind of an arrow. You're going to have to watch this on our show notes, but it's clearly flooding. We've got this river flooding, and what you've got some people stuck in this middle kind of area. And I don't know how they got stuck, but you've got part of this building that's about to collapse into it. And so I don't know if those people there are stuck or they're just were seeing what was going on, but clearly there's severe flooding going on, like rapid flooding. And if you were them, you should be getting out. Or if there were flood warnings, you should have evacuated. But this is kind of crazy. And it looks like it's been raining.
There it goes.
Several days that they would have had a warning to escape it. So this is kind of a wild thing as well. And we'll have those on the show notes. But Phil, you've got a couple, I hear.
I do. So James Spann showed some photos of in Atlanta, Motley Crue Def Leppard concert.
Nice.
And look at these lightning bolts in the background. And look at all the people.
That's all, yeah. But that's all part of the show.
Pyrotechnics. Yeah. Great stage crew.
Yeah,
that's what
it is.
Sabrina and I. Yeah. And we heard about that too. That is too close. That's way too close for comfort. I just can't believe that. That's wild.
That's like it's like a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
I mean, even worse off because they're in the field.
All right, next one, Chris Jackson, storm chaser. This was in Columbia, South Carolina, flooding. More turnaround, don't drown. But here is a car, a vehicle, and basically it is floating, and the person has climbed through the moonroof and needs saving.
Oh,
So
figures.
Exactly. It's like what you don't do is you never know how deep that water goes or if the road underneath it is even,
I
still
can get
there.
through it. I can do it.
Yes, that's what they
I have an SUV.
Yeah, I got an SUV.
Exactly.
Always the
It's
SUVs
like the people
and the
who
big
go,
trucks.
yeah.
Oh, here's
It's
another
really
one.
fast in the winter too when they're flying down through the ice and
Right.
snow.
And Andrew, on that note, right, I got an SUV truck. I can go through anything. So this is in Montana, more flooding.
Oh,
And
no.
you guys can describe what's happening here.
Oh my God. And that's flowing fast. That water is
yeah,
flowing.
that is. And it's wide.
What is he doing? He's driving it. Oh,
you can't even
made
see the
it.
bottom.
Oh wow.
Made it.
That's
believe he
pure
made it.
luck. That's pure luck that he got through that.
He must have had something heavy in the back of that truck because that water is flowing fast.
Yeah.
What are the odds there is like not a piece of road there?
Because it looks like just to
Pretty
his
good.
right, that road looks like it's kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. It doesn't look like it's there anymore. I can't believe
And
he
there's
did
one
it.
thing about being stupid enough and thinking you can go through standing water, but
Yeah.
to think you can go through rushing water like that.
It's just, idiots.
Dummy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Dina, you've got a couple or one.
I do. Okay, so this one, it's this girl. She's kind of standing in her doorway, and there's a thunderstorm going on, and it's funny because the title of it's like Thor powers. So she turns around, she sticks her hand out like Thor, and then it just booms, and it scares the total crap out of her, and I love it because it's so funny. She thought, "Oh my God."
That was right there, though. That was really close to her.
It was really close, but she turned around like she was going to be Thor and like throw up her, her powers, and it actually boomed, and it just her reaction was just so funny.
Thor
I just
threw it
love
right back
calling
at
her shot.
Thor,
calling her
he had
shot.
a hammer.
Exactly.
You couldn't have timed it better. My other one is it's pretty much along a road. And this guy's walking, he sees all this water and kind of air coming up through a manhole. So he's like, I'm going to go over there and step on it because I'm sure that will fix it.
Oh.
And then boom,
oh my
comes
God.
up, and this manhole, like the top comes up and flips like you flip a quarter on your thumb.
Oh my
And
God.
you couldn't tell if he got hit, but because the bus was going by, but he's walking, but he's soaked.
Oh my gosh.
And the thing could have been so much worse. Like the thing could have took his head off, but
Yeah.
I got to back this up just so you can see it again. Boom.
Oh.
That is one of the wildest videos.
I don't understand why he wanted to go over there and put his foot on it.
Yeah.
Like what did he think he was going to accomplish?
And
Did
I
bicycle
don't know.
cop give him a ticket there at the end? Or?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Let's see. Because it's hard. There's a couple. There's the guy on the bike, and he's just like, "Oh my God, you idiot!"
So here's the question I ask myself, like in this example, whoever was filming, like whoever was getting this on their camera, what prompted them to want to start filming this?
That's a
Or
great.
was it set up? Was it just because
probably
water
'cause
was
they
kind of
knew.
spraying out of it, maybe?
Yeah, there was stuff spraying out of it.
Or
and
did they
you can
tell
kinda
that guy to
see-
go over there and kick it open? Or
It is like that sometimes when you see manhole covers and storms, and they're like rattling and they're kind of going up and down. Like, yeah, let me go stick my face by it. That's a great idea.
Oh my gosh. Well, you
So-
definitely have to see. Like that was crazy.
That's a
Gina.
good one. You got to watch that on the show notes.
Yeah. See all of them. Go to stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 160 show notes, and it's just they're wild.
Somebody kind of wasted doing a broadcast. Maybe they went to lunch and they had a few too many drinks, or maybe they had dinner and decided to throw a couple beers back, and then that said, hey, you know what, I got another good idea. I'm drinking, let me do a broadcast. So Phil, I think you have a good one, don't you, from one of our good friends?
we do, yeah. Andrew, this isn't you, so you're safe. You're safe tonight.
We didn't pick
Good.
on
I'm always
Andrew
on the
yet.
lookout over my shoulder. Who's filming me?
You're safe tonight. But so we have a great clip that we found from friends of the show, Storm Chasers Daniel Shaw, who's from Australia, and Pico's Hank Shima. And these guys were doing a broadcast together. They were doing some kind of a broadcast. I think they were answering questions, chat questions and stuff like that. But they obviously, Andrew, they had a number of bourbons and I don't think they had ice. I think they might have been drinking straight out of the bottle.
Oh,
Andrew.
You'll be our next one. You'll be our next wasted weather clip. So I'm going to play this for you guys. This again is Daniel Shaw and Hank Shima answering a viewer's or chat question on some tornado video.
Here's a great question.
What's the question? Daniel, did the El Reno tornado make you more cautious around rain wrap wedges?
You can't say rain wrap wedges.
Not at all. It made me
absolutely perfectly
more
fine.
cautious.
Absolutely
What you
perfectly
did.
fine. I try to. I was cautious around rain wrap wedges to start with. I was driving into one. Had I known what I know now, it would not have happened. That's kind of the whole thing's on YouTube.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
11 minutes. Remember to breathe.
I tell everybody, two videos you need to watch before every storm season is his El Reno all the way through, and also Skip Talbot's Lawrence, Kansas video. I think I watch them every year, and they both scare, hopefully, some sense into me.
So there you go. I'm surprised they got through that.
Best friend I ever had.
Not many forces there, huh, Daniel? Eh?
And you know what's interesting? Some contracts for like on-camera meteorologists, like they can drink up to like 3 drinks, like have 3 glasses of wine. It's written in their contract.
What? Really?
Yes.
Maz didn't have that contract.
No. Maz is like, I totally got screwed on that.
Is that like for on air, like loosen you up?
Yes.
before you go on
Moral
camera?
turpitude across the board, whatever they call it.
Again, wrong profession.
I won't say
the
6 a.m. news, so don't judge.
Andrew. Oh my God.
So little wasted weather. We're always on the lookout for our friends. Maybe drinking a little too much, but I do want to mention. So MJ, I want to let everybody know. So MJ's been out a little bit and busy lately. So I know we've got a big inbox of mail and social media posts that we're going to have to filter through when he gets back. But just want to let everybody know, keep them coming. We love your written reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can always email us at questions@stormfrontfreaks.com, or just jump on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram accounts. And, if you post something, all that stuff, don't worry. We've been holding up on all that stuff, everything you guys been doing. And we'll definitely share that when MJ gets back. So that just about does it, I think, for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching. But before I announce our next show, if you do like the show, don't forget to follow us on your podcast player so that you get notified and receive the latest episodes of our show delivered right to your library the moment that it gets released. You can also find all the podcast player options at stormfrontfreaks.com. And help us out. We always tell you guys, tell a friend, about your favorite episode or your favorite guest that we've had on, or your favorite Maz moment, because I know there's lots of those. We're 160 shows in, Maz. There's lots of those. And you can also visit our website to find our Patreon link, so you can check out all the ways we can do more with you, and you can also help support the show. So just visit stormfrontfreaks.com, and you can find that Patreon link there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page. So right on YouTube, this is where you can watch all the previous versions of our recordings of Stormfront Freaks Raw, which, as you know, is completely unedited, which is a lot of fun. So you get all the great conversations during breaks, great questions from our VIPs, and who knows what else that gets beeped or edited out of the audio podcast. And we even have streams from our recent Team Storm Chase that you can find on there as well. Just find that link at stormfrontfreaks.com. Special thanks goes to our guest tonight, Andrew Lyons. Andrew, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks for that. That was definitely a lot of fun. We'll have to have you on again because I know there's a lot of questions we didn't get to.
Oh yeah, there's I had to glaze over some stuff. But anytime you guys have questions, I'm happy.
There's
to
probably
you
all
have
kinds
questions?
of data we
Andrew
didn't
has
get to.
questions?
Right?
Yeah.
I only came with one spreadsheet this time, but I can come with more.
Okay.
when
Well,
so.
we'll keep that in mind. And let's go around the horn, freaks. Find out how people can follow you. Dean, I'll start with you.
Twitter's the best one at LadyPilot70.
Okay, Maz.
On Twitter at MoneyStorm, the number 4 U.
Okay, awesome. And Jen.
TikTok, Instagram, Jennifer Weather, Twitter at JWatson_WX.
She just rolls right off the tongue. You can find me on Twitter. I'm I'm at Stormfront Freak. So that's where you can find me. Here's what you've all been waiting for. Now that Andrew's done, here's the next most exciting part of the podcast. So we're going to be back in 2 weeks, and we're recording live on July 7th with the next installment of our movie commentary. And so we are going to play our exclusive drinking game to Sharknado. So we are doing our long-awaited Sharknado movie commentary. Patreon members, you can get details on how you can join our raw video recording live. And the edited audio podcast will be available to everyone else the following Sunday, so you can listen while you watch this infamous weather thriller, right? That is Sharknado. You'll also want to make sure you're following us on Twitter. I mentioned before at Stormfront Freak, and or joining our EF5 and above Patreon team, because we have got some amazing Sharknado giveaways that we're going to be doing around the show. So here's the guy.
There it is. Let's see.
This is so cool and fun. This is just fun shit, right? First one. So one of the things we're going to give away. This is the Sharknado soundtrack.
Nice.
Motion picture soundtrack CD, all framed. Which looks cool, right? It's got the whole image of the shark coming out of the tornado, all that cool stuff. So that's one, that's one of the items that I think we got a couple of those that we're going to give away.
Nice.
We also have issue number 1 comic of Archie versus Sharknado.
Wow.
And we've got a couple of these as well. So it's the first issue of Archie
first issue
comic book versus Sharknado, and this is framed. So we got a couple of those, so that's going to be fun. And then this is
face right now. He is just like, I should not be on the podcast, so I can win.
And then this is the piece de resistance of the entire show. This is a Sharknado 5 Amazon Echo Dot. And it's a 3D printed holder for the Amazon Echo Dot. So I'm going to take this out for you guys.
Cool.
All right.
It holds the Echo Dot.
So inside is the Amazon Echo Dot, and it's actually a Sharknado 5 Sci-Fi Channel Amazon Echo Dot, and then it's a 3D printed tornado with all the sharks coming out of it. And it says Sharknado 5 Global Swarming.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's hilarious. And you get the Echo Dot, too.
And you get the Echo Dot with it.
Nice.
So that is an exclusive, definitely limited edition rare piece. So I don't know which of those, some of that stuff we'll put on Twitter, and some of the stuff will be only for our Patreon members. But just some cool, fun stuff we're going to do. Along with, of course, we always have an exclusive drinking game with whatever movie we happen to be watching. So if you want to look back on any of the previous ones we've done, Twister, Into the Storm, Day After Tomorrow, I think that might be it. But Sharknado being next, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Phil,
I don't know where you got all those. Dan is like, he's speechless right now.
Yeah.
Phil,
I've been looking. I've been looking here for a number of months, knowing that this was going to be coming, and we'd have a lot of fun with it. So it'll be a good time. So I think
Patreon members can either do a drinking game to see who, if there's a tie, who's standing at the end. We'll
that'd
see.
be good. I'd want to see that. I'd want to have them on camera too. So. So with all of that, stay tuned here in a couple weeks. But I think for Dina, Maz, Jen, and Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we will catch you guys next time. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Phil, oh my gosh, you got the coolest giveaways.
That's
I
pretty
am
fun.
blown away.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, so awesome. Hardcore.
We got some good stuff. Yeah. So I've only got one of those Amazon. I could only find one of those, but I do have a couple framed Archie issue #1 Sharknado comics, which is just again a fun, something cool, fun to put up, and I've got a couple of the Sharknado motion picture soundtrack framed CDs. So we'll have some fun giving that stuff
Andrew,
away.
you better switch to beer that night instead of bourbon.
It'd be a long night otherwise.
It reminds me of the drinking game we played in undergrad with all the Met students. We would put on Twister, and every time they said something inaccurate, you took a shot. And if you made it more than 20 minutes into the movie, you got a prize.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
I played that as well. So yeah.
It's a good one. It is
a good one.
If you're not feeling conscious the next morning, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd really be screwed if we played Sharknado like that. Like we'd be like 5 minutes into the show, you'd be out.
Yes.
Probably, right?
Oh my gosh.
So Andrew, thank you so much. So basically what we'll do, so we edit the audio part out, put together the actual show, and then that'll be posted probably Sunday.
Okay.
And then usually Monday is when I kind of do some social media posts about it and stuff like that, and we'll include you on it. So okay.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, thanks again, guys. This was super
Thanks,
fun.
Andrew.
I really enjoyed
Good.
talking to y'all. So.
Andrew, you're awesome.
All right.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're looking for your name now.
Dan was geeking out over all your data. Like the minute you said data and you were pulling out spreadsheets, you could just tell he was drooling.
Data spreadsheets. Yes.
That's how I have to organize myself. I'm a big coding guy. I do a lot of stuff with Python and Excel and all that
you
other
do?
stuff. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
so
That's
we're
awesome.
a lot of research projects on that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
big into data.
Do you
organization.
have Dan Wallace's 64 gigabyte RAM i9 price processor, 5 terabyte SSD?
I am actually on a custom built machine. I built my own tower, so it only has 32 gigabytes of RAM, but it's actually an AMD machine, Dan. So it's not
Until you get 64. I just
Dan, what's that, like $5,000?
I was just making it up as I went along.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Andrew, thank you so much though.
You're
so brilliant.
Yeah,
it was
thank you.
wonderful that you were here.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Andrew.
glad to help you guys with any questions or anything like that. So it's SPC is definitely changing. The older crowd is starting to kind of leave, and us new kids are a lot more open about a lot of the stuff that's going on and wanting to talk about it. So any
Doogie
questions you
Howser.
guys have,
I got
so,
you.
yeah.
Doogie
I
Howser.
love that, Andrew.
Yeah. And
Thank
Dina, I have
you.
a random question for you. What did you fly? Because it's been bugging me the whole time.
The one I got my license in was a Piper Tomahawk.
Oh, you did a Tomahawk.
The Tomahawk, if you've heard of that. I also flew a Cessna and a Tobago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've had.
But the Piper is the one I got my license on.
Gotcha. I did all my training in a 172 except for the spin training. I got spin certified in a 152. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Cessnas are they don't spin when they stall as much as the Tomahawk. The Tomahawk, it goes.
It's got the T-tail, doesn't it, on the back?
Yeah, and it's a low wing. It's a low wing.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
don't know.
fun. Stalling in a plane.
Yeah, like stalling a plane and then spinning toward your death. It's, you got to get out of it.
They teach you at pair, power, ailerons, rudder, elevator.
It's been a while though, but I still like having any aviation weather related thing.
Dan's an aviation guy too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
You're all in good company.
Have you checked out the Icon A5?
All the cool people.
Oh, the float plane / if I had however much money that is, I would have,
385.
380. Oh, you know.
Wow. Did you just pull that out of your ass?
Jimmy Buffett has one.
Really?
Just saying.
That's Maz's gift.
Yeah, we know what Maz has been Googling the last 24 hours.
Oh, Father's Day. Come on, Dave.
Well, my retirement goal is to buy land somewhere out in like western Kansas, western Oklahoma, build a big house, and also build a runway next to the house so I can fly in and out of the house. So that's my.
Unless you go up to Alaska, don't they have a lot of runways right by the house?
Oh, yeah.
And then pull right into your own hangar. That takes some money.
I heard one out of every 3 people in Alaska have a plane.
Really?
Interesting.
Probably. That's probably about right.
What's the ratio of planes to bears? Is it?
Don't you have a data spreadsheet
one
on that,
out of
Andrew?
100 of those people that have a plane in Alaska have a license to fly it. I don't know. Alaska, I love you. I'm just kidding.
All sport.
Andrew, when you're building your property, you should do a Chaser Airbnb.
Yeah, I'll throw some guest rooms in there. So just put it on the map. Like, hey, Chasers, if you're out, just come. We've got a crash pad. Have like the mother-in-law suite, but like in the backyard for Chasers. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I love that idea, Dan. Yeah.
10% royalty.
Yeah, that sounds like
It's got to be clean water, not like Murdo, South Dakota. We were at. She told us that the thing there. She's like, if you notice the water is a little yellow, don't worry about it. I'm like, oh,
it was fine.
It was
I
yellow.
totally bathed in it and
I saw it.
drank
It was
down.
yellow. You did not drink it. You did not.
Looked like I had jaundice when I got up that morning.
I was like,
Oh no.
Like a colored Easter egg, right?
MJ's asking about show titles: Drunk Campers or What BS